are these people?
Now, I also wanted to get into London. Oh my goodness. This is some crazy shit here. Now, again, not always the biggest fan of these people, but this guy does some pretty good stuff. The people who hung this banner outside Labour headquarters have been arrested and will face trial in the UK in January. These are the extreme Orwellian measures that Western governments must take to normalize Israel's genocide and war crimes. Ready for this? Yep. They dropped a banner across a building. Yep, they draped a banner across scaffolding.
Well, clearly that's violence, Indy. Clearly that's violence.
I think this might even be the street that
banners are violence.
That Dr. Hossam Abu Safia walked down to climb into that tank. It feels like right about there. I remember that footage like it was yesterday. But they got prosecuted for hanging this fucking banner. It's so far over the top draconian.
It could be easily fucking taken down. Someone's like, okay.
Yep.
Like, zero destruction of property.
All right. But worse, this is a 2-minute and 20-second video of a retired male nurse in London who was arrested for holding a sign. And let's check this one out. Before we do that, let's go to switching slideshow office. Okay.
Do you have a message?
I'm being arrested for holding up a placard which says, I oppose genocide and I support Palestine action. This isn't just about Palestine action. This is about freeing the British legal system from the oppression of the Zionist lobby. I've witnessed the genocide in Palestine, and that is what this is really about. This is really about covering up the genocide. Thank you very much. This is about the British government covering up a genocide, a blatant genocide of nearly 6 million beautiful Muslim people. We need to free up our country from the oppression of the Zionist lobby. Neoliberal capitalism is the biggest threat the world has ever seen.
They tried to scrub this whole video off the internet, by the way.
I oppose genocide and I support Palestine action. In their actions to bring the world's awareness and to stop the genocide in Palestine. 5 times I worked in Palestine as an emergency medic, 4 times in Gaza. I was in Gaza in the last Nakba. I witnessed things there after 30 years of work in emergency. I witnessed things in Gaza that broke me as a man. And the people of Palestine put me back together. They are warm, welcoming, hospitable Muslim people. They're a strong, resilient people. And this is not being done in my name. We need to free Britain from the oppression of the Zionist lobby. We need to free Britain from the oppression of neoliberal capitalism. Britain isn't Britain anymore. Britain is an owned country. When it comes to a point where they're arresting emergency medics and arresting retired medics and doctors for holding up a piece of paper with words on it, whereas they sell weapons that kill people from outer space. I've seen drones burning children in their beds, and they were provided by this country, no other country. They were British made. This is a proxy British Americano genocide.
Absolutely.
Good for you, dude.
Dude, hearing it right from the mouth of a
Free
guy.
my boy, Blue.
Lee Evans, okay? He's been there, in the trenches. And you're going to deny him the right to speak? Fuck you. Fuck Israel for that. And
fuck you. Fuck Britain.
Just to show how captured they are, again, we go back to Indie Media Award honoree Declassified UK. You can't see the logo there, but it's there. All right, John McEvoy, who's one of the managing editors now. And this was from June 25th of last year, just to remind people how Israel funds the UK parliamentary staff. So they've infiltrated, folks. Right? Israel has paid for at least a dozen UK parliamentary staff to visit the country on special delegations in the last 5 years. A further 18 staffers have accepted funding or hospitality from pro-Israel lobby organizations in Britain, such as Labor Friends of Israel and We Believe in Israel. Several worked for MPs in Keir Starmer's front bench team, including Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Shadow Health Secretary Wes Streeting, and Shadow Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson. I believe Rachel Reeves now may be Home Secretary. Our investigation found how the Israeli embassy in London, its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and associated lobby groups seek to influence not only members of parliament, but also their assistants, because those are the people that actually get the work done. Declassified previously revealed that 1 in 4 British MPs in the last parliament accepted funding from pro-Israel lobby groups or individuals. So it's not just happening here. And I didn't even realize that they were allowed to buy off staff like that. That was legal. Like, it's illegal for a foreign government, technically, to pay off a lawmaker here, so they whitewash it through American companies. All right, but apparently they can just fund stuff for staffers. The Israeli embassy in London funded 10 staff members of Tory MPs to visit Israel and a young conservative political leaders delegation in 2022. They worked for MPs such as Stephen Crabb, Nicola Richards, and Bob Blackman, all of whom are closely associated with conservative Friends of Israel. No surprise. Again, all these lobbying groups are just paying this money.
Labor Friends of Israel.
No. Although they basically serve the same purpose. One of the staffers, Simon Phipps, is now a conservative candidate for Birmingham Selly Oak. The trip involved meeting with government officials and businesses in Israel as part of a UK delegation. The visit was declared in an obscure parliamentary database called the Register of Interests of Members, Secretaries, and Research Assistants. It contains little information about what the staffers did in Israel or who they met. All data prior to 2018 has been destroyed in line with official regulations. How convenient. Okay, so this is an interesting story. I just wanted to bring that because it went back a little bit, but it's important. Here's the European Leadership Network. That's another organization that brought people to Israel. ELNet was funded by Dove Foreman, a staffer for Tory MP Robert Jenrick, to go on a solidarity trip to Israel amid the genocidal war on Gaza. Whitewashing trip. All right. Another funders, We Believe in Israel. Yeah. Again, this is last year, and they're still doing this shit. So again, I wanted to go back and bring that up in Declassified to point out some of the ways that they were buying off British lawmakers then. Now, on a positive note, you have this Irish writer, God bless the Irish, Sally Rooney, another one who says, I support Palestine action. If this makes me a supporter of terror under UK law, so be it. She also announced that she was going to donate the proceeds from her book to funding and supporting Palestine action. Terrorism used to be when you killed people. Now terrorism is when you try to stop people being killed. Ayub Ahmad, you should definitely follow him too. And then finally, Professor David Miller wrote this article. This is a really short one, but he's been calling out Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Why didn't somebody tell me that my screen was messed up? Here, let's turn the slideshow back on. There you go.
I don't know.
I didn't notice that till just now. You saw the rest of my screen there, folks. All right.
You're right.
David Miller wrote this article. Now, your party is the new thing that's emerging that was co-founded by Zara Sultana, who left the Labour Party, and Jeremy Corbyn. And they're trying to get together a group, and allegedly they have over 300,000 people who have pledged their support for 3 million. They're bigger than the Labour Party right now. So David Miller's been looking into exactly what their policies are going to be. Are they just going to be like a neoliberal light? because Corbyn has had issues, especially on two-state solution. So he says, I'm told that your party has now named 7 members in a presumably interim executive committee. He says, I'm able to share the names and the official positions of 3 of the 7, which are listed in the internal documents. They are Amy Jackson, once a political secretary at Loto and Unite's director of politics, now head of executive team. Well, what's Unite? We'll get to that in a minute. Harry Murphy, ex-chief of staff at Loto. What is LOTO? We'll get to that. Forced out after shenanigans with John McDonnell, now back in charge of conference and event planning. Again, this is electoral stuff, but they're trying to form a third party. What's happening is that this is the same tried and failed incompetent clique that brought down the first Corbyn project. Out of cowardice, they capitulated to the Board of Deputies and the Israel lobby last time, believing in a two-state solution. Specifically, this guy, James Schneider. All right, he worked for
Schneider.
Yeah, he worked for LOTO, but also Progressive International and the Peace and Justice Project. Who's he married to? Keir Starmer's press secretary. Now we know that Keir Starmer undermined Corbyn and smeared him with that entire called him an anti-Semite for standing up for Palestine, even though Corbyn tepidly supports a two-state solution, though he has been strongly in support of the Palestinian people. But being married to Keir Starmer's press secretary and working under Corbyn's new party, that's inviting the snake into your garden. He was central to the disastrous labor push to accept the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism against the will of the members and to the strategy of apologizing and throwing anti-Zionists under the bus. His new title is a mouthful. Comms inclusive of mainstream media, social media, speechwriter, spokesperson, supporter comms. That's everything. That's the entire message is on this guy's shoulders. They betrayed the will of the mass membership and turbocharged the witch hunt. Now history risks repeating. They're trying to get this. This reminds me of Jeff Weaver joining Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2020, right? Of the Foxes joining the Hen House, of Peter Dow joining the Marianne Williamson campaign in 2024. All right. They're sending their known hatchet men. For some reason, Corbyn and whoever is accepting these fucking morons. All right. And David Miller is standing up and trying to tag these people and be like, what are you doing? A handful of tried and tested failures could once again squander a movement of 800,000 decent Britons. But that's their whole intent now, isn't it? It's essential.
That's the plan.
It's essential that anyone who has a voice in this process intervenes now to ensure that the whole project is not strangled at birth by the same team that hung thousands of anti-Zionist labor members out to dry last time and capitulated to the Zionist movement. And he's tagging the leaders of this new Your Party, YP. YP also is your problem. So that's not so much that I like, but okay. So again, we likely will not be remonetized by YouTube for calling out the Corbyn party for not being pro-Palestine enough and for potentially allowing a pro-Keir Starmer snake in their garden. So if you're able to and have means, please help fund the media you want to see elsewhere by doing so at Cash App, $Indie News Network. We can do so at Ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. A couple of people have done that already tonight. You can do that at PayPal.me/Indie News Network. You can do that at IndieNewsNow.com under Keep the Media Free, and that goes right to our Stripe. We can do that over at Substack at IndieMediaToday.com. You can subscribe on a monthly or an annual basis. All right. And you can subscribe at INNnewsletter.com. Totally separate newsletter with totally different content. Although I am now sharing some older INN newsletter content to Indie Media Today subscribers this week because I realize most of the people there had not subscribed and had never seen these articles. So I'm resharing them with a different audience to give it some new life. Specifically, the pieces about breaking points, and even the segment that I did last year with Colin on INN News about the infiltration of independent media by corporate media, and citing many different examples there of what we're talking about. Love you all. Thank you so much for everybody who's here tonight. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I truly believe that. And we'll see you soon. I love you all. Have a great night, everyone.
We your party. Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to me, but God, it's so